Japan. It has always intrigued us with its culture and lifestyle. Well, did you know that Japan is governed by a parliamentary constitutional monarchy? And that the only person in the world with the title of emperor is the Emperor of Japan? This sultanate has continued in the same family for 2,500 years. So, they are the oldest dynasty in the world. Emperor Naruhito took over the throne after his father Akito abdicated in 2019. According to legend, they are believed to be descendants of the sun goddess, and their family history dates back to 600 BC. However, as a result of the loss of World War II by the Japanese and the 2 atomic bombs dropped on the country, the emperor's rights were greatly restricted with the constitution prepared in 1947. And over time, it turned into a symbolic position with the additions made to the constitution. In fact, a similar situation has existed in the fate of Japanese emperors for thousands of years. Sometimes they oscillate between being the sole judge and sometimes being symbolic. The reason for this lies in the shogunate system in Japan's history. Shogun was the name of the army commanders passed from father to son, and sometimes they were seen as the sole rulers of the country. However, in 1868, the shoguns were abolished by Emperor Meiji and the foundations of modern Japan were laid. So what are the powers of the emperor? Japanese emperors do not have significant authority over the country's government. For example, the Council of Ministers elects the Prime Minister and the Emperor approves it. He does not have the right to veto. Likewise, it is the Emperor's job to approve the laws passed and announce them to the public. Apart from these, all actions and activities are carried out with the advice and decision of the Council of Ministers. Even though they are symbolic, 80% of the population is satisfied with the existence of the imperial family. Because traditional ceremonies, holidays, and even honorary awards are administered by the emperor, they are seen as the unifying face of Japan. Beyond these, the family can visit other countries as a goodwill representation of Japan. However, these visits do not have any formality other than the aim of creating a good dialogue. Even if you are the only male member of the Japanese royal family, you must have a very good education to become emperor. No one will make you a king just because your father is a king. For example, today's Emperor Naruhito studied history at Japan's most prestigious universities, and then continued his education at Oxford University. He conducts academic studies especially on the efficient use of water resources in the world. A ceremony called New Year's Lessons is held in January every year. Kosho Hajime in Japanese. The emperor, empress, and other dynasty members are present at this ceremony. Academicians present this year's scientific developments to the dynasty with a ceremonial ceremony, according to the areas of expertise of the dynasty members. It is a ceremony that has been going on since 1869. The most important feature is that you must continue to be a student even if you become an emperor. The Japanese emperor attends more than 300 social events throughout the year. These events are held to recognize and highlight successful people in society and to provide people with the opportunity to express themselves. By remaining in direct contact with the public, the emperor is prevented from being trapped in palace life and disconnected from society. The social life of all dynasty members is defined by strict rules. Even going to entertainment centers is forbidden to young princes and princesses. The training he will receive is certain and he must be an example to the society. Even the emperor cannot act according to his own will. His plans for the day, the activities he will attend, and even his financial affairs are managed by the imperial agency established by the government. And going beyond these may result in your titles being taken away. Just like what happened to Princess Mako, the emperor's niece. When she decided to get engaged to a young man she met during her university years, the Japanese media went completely crazy. A lynching campaign began everywhere against the couple. Allegations that a young man named Kei Komuro had a relationship with the princess for money were echoed on the agenda. The problem is that members of the dynasty are prohibited by law from marrying commoners, and if Princess Mako were to marry her fiancé, Kei Komuro, she would lose her royal status and titles. When Kei Komuro went to America to complete his law education, they never met the princess for 3 years. However, when the groom returned as a young lawyer, the couple was ready to get married, and despite all the pressure, Mako and Kei Komuro united their lives with a very simple wedding ceremony in 2021. Emperor child Princess Mako is no longer a member of the dynasty family. Time will tell us how well it can adapt to the lives of ordinary people. Dynasty members, especially emperors, are considered sacred according to the Shinto religion. In fact, Emperor Naruhito, who reigned between 1926 and 1989, was considered a living god. Even though he lost the Second World War, he toured Japan without security to prove to the world the people's love for him, and the people welcomed him like a god. Although it is frequently revealed that members of many royal families, including Spain, are involved in corruption, this is not the case for the Japanese dynasty. Even though I did a lot of research about them, I could never find any illegal discourse. In general, the crime rate in the country is very low, but that is why there is a state of naivety called Heiwa Bokeh. Think of it this way. Bad events happen so rarely that very big reactions are given to very small things, and they are greatly exaggerated. For example, the murder of a Japanese tourist in Cappadocia in recent years has been reported so many times in the Japanese media that the rate of Japanese tourists coming to Cappadocia has dropped by half. If you say this is normal, take a look at this example. When you use a gun in the country, you can even appear on the news. So the crime is less. One of the issues that the royal family draws attention to and that the state is most interested in is the fact that Japan is truly a country of lonely people. Working hours that extend to 12 to 15 hours a day, sometimes more, the social order operating with a herd mentality, and small houses in big cities make society, especially young people, lonely and hopeless, causing a high rate of suicides. There are around 20,000 suicide cases a year due to the overpopulation of the country, and thus the devaluation of individuals' social lives. A scary number. The existence of a suicide forest at the foot of Mount Fuji also reveals the gravity of the situation. The forest, whose original name is Aokigahara, is one of the places chosen by Japanese people to commit suicide. When you enter the forest, instead of classic warnings such as "do not light a fire" or "throw garbage," phrases such as "please do not commit suicide and think about your family and friends" are written. No matter how polite and naive the Japanese people are, one of the biggest problems in the country is the harassment cases in public transportation. The harassment situation, especially during busy hours in the subways, is very high and quite disturbing. Of course, if you can find a place to take the metro. Although it has a surface area of only approximately 378,000 square kilometers, 70% of the country is surrounded by mountains and consists of islands. In addition, in Japan, which is trying to support a population of 122.4 million, In order to get on the metros of metropolitan cities, the officials have to push you and close the doors. In this crowd, you won't even know if you get pregnant, let alone being harassed. The small land and population have made both houses and hotel rooms smaller and smaller. People often die alone and desolate because homes are not large enough to accommodate large families. This situation is a major factor in raising unhappy generations. I can clearly say that a generation is growing up that is not very excited about their country, and considering that Japan is a very populated country in the world, this fragile structure of the new generation may negatively affect the whole world. Unless the government and the crown can find a quick solution. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos like this.